Bill Kennard. Company is Grandy and Associates, and the website is www.grandyassociates.com. For 20 years as a company, everything we did was in person, which meant we spent a lot of time on airplanes and getting together with groups of people. The problem with that is that's a finite resource. There's only so much available to go around. There's only so many days I can be in the field, in front of a group of people. Working with our coach, we actually started to move that ball forward in a big way. And so putting together some best, better, good options for subscriptions and additional tools along with that one has already started to bear fruit. We're starting to see that recurring revenue come in. And again, that's dollars that are coming in that I don't have to be on an airplane or sitting in another city to make happen. It's also far more it's really unlimited, right? I mean, I can take on more subscriptions without a problem, without having to be gone. One of the things that certainly throughout the last couple of months in working with our coach has been our team has been absolutely rocking it. They've been owning this thing. We've been putting the vision out in front of them, and they've been making decisions. They've been carrying that ball forward. And so it's not all on my shoulders. It doesn't all have to be me making that decision. And one of the other things that we've started to do is we do our 5-minute stand-up every morning at this point. That's been proving really fruitful. What has to be done today? What are the things that, okay, if you need something from me, you need to tell me in that 5-minute stand-up, right? And everybody does that same thing, because if you don't tell me you need it today, it's probably not going to happen. My schedule's already full.
Having somebody help bring clarity to the search engine optimization process.
Well, Clay, there's no question. I spent a lot of years with my soul being sucked out and my mind being numb. There's no question. One of those, the issues that's there that again became really clear is that whole idea of what are those key words, those phrases, the snippets that need to be in the website itself. Our website didn't have nearly what we needed to have in it in terms of content, in terms of those keywords, in terms of the phrases that were there. We really had to go back and almost rewrite the website. And this was after I spent several years paying a lot of money to a couple of different marketing companies who were creating a website for us that was supposed to work. And quite frankly, the problem was we get people to the website and it never converted. We're now starting to see some of that traction, getting, having those keywords in there, writing more content to go into it. So it speaks to our potential clients to draw them in and get our face in front of them as well. So that's been an ongoing process for us. It's something that we're continuing to work with and continuing to grow. So first off, you're wasting your time even thinking about it. Just do it. Right? Because one of those things that you're going to find very, very quickly, you go through the 13-point checkup that you guys do with the company itself, and where are the holes? You find out what's there, and where can you and the individual coaches help them move that ball forward. Because again, too many times we're stuck doing the day-to-day. We're stuck trying to make this thing happen, trying to hit payroll, trying to pay the bills. We can't get outside of that mindset, of that box a little bit.
Well, folks, so many wonderful people like yourselves might watch this show. You might tune in and you say, wow, that was a nice success story. I wish it would be secretly me. Wow, I'm so glad for that person out there in Oregon. I'm glad she's doing great. But secretly, I kind of wish that would happen to me. Somebody's watching right now. I talked to someone last week. You said, well, that success story in Florida was awesome. Why can't that be me? And so on today's show, we're going to talk about how to turn your dreams into reality. And we're going to celebrate the success of a thriver out there, a guy who's diligently putting in the work every day. Is he getting rich overnight? No, but he's diligently putting in effort. He's building something special. Bill Kennard, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, great to be here, Clay.
Now, Bill, for anybody out there that might think you're a hologram, could you share with us one more time your first and last name and what is your website there, sir?
So my name is Bill Kennard. Company is Grandy and Associates, and the website is www.grandyassociates.com.
Okay, I'm going to go online, and I want the listeners to do it with me to verify you're a real business here. So we're going to Grandy. Not that fake businesses couldn't also have websites, but we're going to go into grandyassociates.com. Now, we go there. It says grow with purpose, precision, and passion. We provide contractors with the tools, clarity, and support needed to build stronger systems, healthier teams, and more profitable businesses. What exactly do you do at grandyassociates.com, sir?
Well, Clay, what we do is we actually work with really all home services companies. And we're most of these individuals are really good at their craft. They got into this because they like working with their hands, they like fixing things, and now all of a sudden they're in a business of their own. And they've never had any number side training. So we spend most of our time working, helping them understand the number side of the business. How do we figure out what's the difference between accounting and cash flow? What's my break even rate? How do I take this stack of invoices that I have and somehow break that down to what it costs me to run my business? And so we help them, we work with them through that one. We help them understand why their P&L is lying to them every single month. All right, because by gosh, at the bottom line on the P&L tells me I made money this month, but if I made that money, where is it? Because I'm not seeing it. It's not in my checkbook. And so we help them understand that piece of the puzzle as well. And then we also get into how do we manage the team? How, part of leading that company and being the leader is working with my team, being able to communicate with them, manage them. What are the KPIs that we need to be tracking within our company? And then how do we sell these jobs? How do we actually sell our products to the end user customer?
Now, I'm going to pull up your website again here for anybody. I encourage them to check out your website as well. Again, that website is grandyassociates.com. How would you describe what you do? Would you describe yourself as a consultant, as a software support team? Walk the listeners through. Well, how would you describe maybe what industry you're in?
So how would I describe it? It's going to be a consultant and a coach. Now, does it mean that we work with software? Yes, we do, right? But that's not, we're not a software company. That's not our goal. Our goal is to help the home service companies understand the number side of their business, because if they understand that, they can then be profitable. And our why, Clay, is we change lives. We know that if we work with a company, then we help that business owner understand their business and their numbers, they become more profitable. It impacts not only their life or the lives of them and their family, it impacts the lives of every single person who works with that company. And so, again, we're using many of those other tools, the software tools. We've got a proposal tool that we just rolled out to help these companies put together a solid, professional-looking 4-option proposal, a best, better, good, basic proposal that they can give to their customers in a matter of minutes. Right. So we're not selling software, we're selling a solution to help them be more profitable.
How would you describe how you got into this industry? If you could share with us kind of a 90-second overview of how you got into the industry, because you clearly know what you're talking about and your success is documented and proven. But how did you get started?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a numbers person at heart. I'm an HVAC guy. That's where I started out 45 years ago now at this point, and spent 22 years with a wholesale distributor. Well, now if you boil it down, wholesale distribution is basically boxes in, boxes out. And you hope that people are buying your boxes so they can pay you for it. And so as a result, I started working with our customers throughout the state of Wisconsin and Michigan to help them understand their numbers so they could buy more boxes from us and pay us for it. Well, I found out pretty soon I couldn't do enough of that one-on-one and went looking for somebody that could help me with that piece of the puzzle. That's where I originally met our company founder, Tom Grandy. Loved what he did so much. After hiring him 3 times to come in and work with our contractors, I left my role after distributorship to join his company, and 20 years ago bought the company from him, and we've been having fun ever since.
Now, how did you initially come in contact with our team here at the Thrivetime Show?
Well, even though we're a coach, right? Even a coach needs a coach, right? And so we were looking for opportunities, how can we improve? And then, we also follow some of your clients, like Amanda Grace and Julie Green and, some of those teams, we follow them as well. And so, we originally, I have to admit, right, you were doing a conference there in which several of these individuals were coming to it. And my wife and I thought, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? We can see some of these individuals we follow, and we can glean a little bit from Clay Clark.
Now, what I want to do is I want to pull up a document on our screen, and I want to show people kind of this is how I perceive business growth. Sometimes I think I need to show someone something visual. And when I look at a business or growing a business, and everybody has a little different approach. Some people might say there's 10 core aspects of growing a company or 20. There's a great book called The Service Profit Chain written by Harvard that talks about systems. And, Michael Gerber has his systems. You have Robert Kiyosaki talks about his 4 quadrants. But how I look at it is, every business really needs to know these 14 aspects of business growth. In order to grow your company, you got to know your revenue goals. Box number one. Box number two, you got to know your break even numbers. Box number three, you have to know how many hours per week you're going to work. Box number four, you got to know your unique value proposition. Box number five, you have to nail down your branding. Box number six, you have to have a turnkey marketing process to acquire new customers. Box number seven, you have to have a sales conversion system. Box number eight, you have to know how much does it cost you to get a new customer. Box number nine, you have to have repeatable systems and processes so other people who are not you can grow the company with you. Box number 10, you have to manage people. Yeah, you have to learn how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people. Box number 11, you have to have a sustainable weekly schedule that works with your spouse and those in your house. Box number 12, you have to be able to find and recruit great talent. Box number 13, you have to know your bottom line numbers, as you mentioned earlier. You have to know not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. And then box number 14, what is the point of having success? You have, let's say we're having massive success financially, but are we having success in the F7 life? Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. Are we having time to put our focus on things that we enjoy? Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. And are we having time to put the focus in the areas we want? And I say all this because we're going to dial in now to four specific areas of success that we've been able to achieve together. But there are so many other areas of success that you guys are having and have had previous to interacting with us. But area number one I want to get into is focusing on recurring revenue. Mm-hmm. You know, I have a haircut chain. We cut hair, men's hair. And we have 4,000 customers.
You're looking mighty dapper, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. And we cut their hair every month. And so we have a recurring revenue model with that. I'm involved in gyms and fitness businesses. We have a recurring revenue model for that. Can you talk about the recurring revenue model that we've worked on together and maybe some early wins that we've seen as we've worked together in this past year?
Yeah, that's actually been really big for us because for 20 years as a company, we did everything we did was in person. And so, which meant we spent a lot of time on airplanes and getting together with groups of people. The problem with that is that's a finite resource. There's only so much available to go around. There's only so many days I can be in the field, in front of a group of people. And then when that's happening, a couple of those F7s start to suffer, right? My wife thought she was a single person again. And so, because again, in my busiest year, I was 240 days in front of groups. That's way too much being gone. And so the goal was, how can we create more recurring revenue that's coming in while I can still be here at home? And so put together a couple of subscription programs. We had a little bit of a start with it, but working with our coach, we actually started to move that ball forward in a big way. And so putting together some best, better, good options for subscriptions and additional tools along with that one has already started to bear fruit. We're starting to see that recurring revenue come in. And again, that's dollars that are coming in that I don't have to be on an airplane or sitting in another city to make happen. It's also far more it's really unlimited, right? I mean, I can take on more subscriptions without a problem, without, having to be gone.
Managing a team. I know in my office, between the elephant in the room haircut chain and our consulting and all the businesses I'm involved in, there's 102 people that we're processing payroll for every week, and that's a large team for some that's a small team. But managing people, it turns out people can be your best resource, and they can also be your biggest liability. I know we've been working together on developing management systems. Can you talk about some early wins that you've been able to work on with your coach as it relates to management systems?
Yeah, that's one of the things that certainly Carter's talked about with us, and I had to get out of my own way. Right, because again, we're a small company. We're not as big as you are, but at the same time, we were running into issues where many people on my team were waiting to come back to me to make a decision, or me to set a course or set a direction. And I'd be talking to them on a regular basis anyway about taking ownership in some of these roles. One of the things that certainly throughout the last couple of months in working with our coach has been our team has been absolutely rocking it. They've been owning this thing. We've been putting the vision out in front of them, and they've been making decisions. They've been carrying that ball forward. And so it's not all on my shoulders. It doesn't all have to be me making that decision. And one of the other things that we've started to do is we do our 5-minute stand-up every morning at this point. That's been proving really fruitful. What has to be done today? What are the things that, okay, if you need something from me, you need to tell me in that 5-minute stand-up, right? And everybody does that same thing, because if you don't tell me you need it today, it's probably not going to happen. My schedule's already full.
Folks, the systems and processes that are being implemented diligently by Bill and his team, they're producing fruit. And I want to just hammer home this idea. I think a lot of times people watch enough YouTube videos or too many YouTube videos, and they start to go, I want to get rich in an hour. I'd like to get rich in 6 weeks if I could, maybe 7. And there's actually business consulting companies that will ask you these insane questions. They'll say, do you want to get rich in 7 weeks or 8 weeks? What's your goal? And what I love about Bill is diligent with his clients and putting in proven processes and systems. And he's realistic about the outcomes. And he's saying, look, if you put in these systems and processes, you're going to have success. And if you're watching this show, the idea is, can we get 2% better every week for 52 consecutive weeks? Because if we did, that's 100% growth. So that's what I'm talking about. Bill, in my mind, is an exact make and model of what we call a diligent doer, somebody who puts in the work and isn't afraid to put in the work needed to achieve success. Area number 3 I want to focus on is sales systems. So often sales can be a function of personality. I see concrete businesses, doctors, dentists, home builders, lawyers, where one guy handles all the sales, and beyond that, there's no sales. And I want to talk about building sales systems. Can you talk about some of the early wins we've been able to have together building sales systems?
Well, one of the things that has certainly been interesting is, for us as a company, our marketing has always been weak, right? And so we've had to kind of work on that part of the puzzle as well. But then one of the things that we had to learn early on is this whole idea is, as you're going through the sales process and having those, okay, here's how we're going to do things. Here's really the script that we're going to use. Sometimes the script, our early scripts were lousy. They didn't work, right? So one thing that's absolutely concrete is, if you want something to change, it means you got to change something, right? And so we started looking at, okay, how do we reword the scripts? How do we change it? How do we change the process? And we had a couple of those where we'd go, we'd start going down the road, and Jordan and I would sit down and go, okay, this doesn't work. We just hit a brick wall every time we go down this road. Well, okay, let's take a different road, right? And so we changed something a little bit at that point, and then measure it. And are we getting some traction at that point in time? One of the things we certainly, if you can't measure it, right, you can't manage it, right? And so we're trying to put more and more metrics in place that we can measure our progress as we're going down these roads with that sales process.
Final area I want to talk to you about is just search engine optimization. Optimizing a website can be a soul-sucking, mind-numbing, hope-killing process. And I think once it's demystified, hopefully it's not soul-sucking, confusing, but it could be soul-sucking and hope-killing and dream, because by default, people just don't know what they're doing. Could you talk about the benefit of coaching and having somebody help bring clarity to the search engine optimization process?
Well, Clay, there's no question. I spent a lot of years with my soul being sucked out and my mind being numb. There's no question. One of those the issues that's there that again became really clear is that whole idea of what are those keywords, those phrases, the snippets that need to be in the website itself. Our website didn't have nearly what we needed to have in it in terms of content, in terms of those keywords, in terms of the phrases that were there. We really had to go back and almost rewrite the website. And this was after I spent several years paying a lot of money to a couple of different marketing companies who were creating a website for us that was supposed to work. And quite frankly, the problem was we get people to the website and it never converted. We're now starting to see some of that traction, getting, having those keywords in there, writing more content to go into it. So it speaks to our potential clients to draw them in and get our face in front of them as well. So that's been an ongoing process for us. It's something that we're continuing to work with and continuing to grow. So
final two questions. Final two questions I have for you there. I didn't mean to cut you off. Final two questions I have for you is one, for somebody out there that says, wow, how can Bill help me? I'm going to pull up your website again here. Tell listeners out there who you can help, how you can help. And again, that website we'll pull it up here is grandyassociates.com. How can you help and who can you best help there, sir?
There's no question. Really, any home service company, again, if that's you, that you're looking to, especially if you're not quite sure why the numbers aren't where they're supposed to be, give us a call. check us out at grandyassociates.com, grandyassociates.com. Again, you can go out there and get access to many of our tools completely free for 7 days. Not only is it the number side training and the tools that you need to find out exactly what you need to charge per hour, the tools to actually let you make a professional multi-option proposal to your customer in a matter of 4 minutes and have it in their hands. To get technical training on demand, there's a library of over 100 hours of content for you and your team itself. And again, you can have 100% access for 7 days completely free at grandyassociates.com.
Final question for anybody out there who's on the fence. What I find I've been doing this for 21 years, so I find there's a lot of patterns here. But a lot of our listeners will go to thrivetimeshow.com and they'll watch testimonials. And because we have over 2,000 of them at this point, you could literally watch a new testimonial every day. Think about that, folks. For 2,000 consecutive days, aka for 6.5 years, and you wouldn't run into the same one. And so a lot of our listeners listen to that. We had one guy I talked to the other day. He said he had been listening to our show for over 9 years. And then he decided, you know what? I can do this. What do you say to somebody out there who's on the fence about scheduling a one-on-one consultation with our team at thrivetimeshow.com?
First off, you're wasting your time even thinking about it. Just do it. Right? Because, one of those things that you're going to find very, very quickly, you go through the 13-point checkup that you guys do with the company itself, and where are the holes? You find out what's there, and where can you and the individual coaches help them move that ball forward? Because again, too many times we're stuck doing the day-to-day. We're stuck trying to make this thing happen, trying to hit payroll, trying to pay the bills. We can't get outside of that mindset, of that box a little bit. And that's one of the things that certainly you did at the conference for me and my wife. That's certainly one of the things that Carter continues to challenge us to do. I mean, some of the ideas Carter comes up with are a little bit out there, but they can work, right? It challenges us to get outside of our box. And so again, don't hesitate, make the call, do the checkup. You won't regret it.
Again, folks, that website to check out today, I encourage you to check out the website there, grandyassociates.com, grandyassociates.com. Bill Kennard, a diligent doer, a great success story, a guy who's helping a lot of people. Bill, thank you for carving out time. I know you're a busy guy. I really do appreciate you.
It's been great being here. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Gosh, man, time flies. I'd say right around 4 or 5 years ago, I just kind of felt like we were stuck. And my wheels weren't moving, and I had this goal, and I just didn't really know how to get there. So you guys actually helped me with that. And, I reached out to you guys. We started our relationship. We started our coaching sessions, and you guys helped me build a lot of the systems that we have now. But, Clay, had I not actually sat down and took the time and the energy to reach out to you and then set aside time every single week to actually work on the specific goal of scaling Window Ninjas, then it would have never happened, and we wouldn't have the come to fruition like it is today.
If it's Cajun cuisine and live music you seek, boy, do we have the place.
And in tonight's Dine and Dish, Dale here hit the South Valley staple known for its food and fun entertainment.
Yeah, Margot and Warren, for 2 decades, this Visalia hotspot has been serving up everything from seafood to steaks from Harris Ranch. Cajun favorites and a lively bar at Crawdaddy's have brought the spice of life to Main Street in downtown Visalia.
I just wanted to bring a lot of fun. For one thing, we have great food with great entertainment. Chef Fernando Gonzalez has been the heart and soul of this place.
And he's always putting on a fiery show. When halibut is in season, Chef Fernando carves up the biggest and the best.
We do that all the time with specific halibut, salmons, swordfish. This is a 10-ounce cut of fresh halibut out of Alaska. And then I'm gonna lightly bread it. This has garlic and other spices on it, cooked to golden brown, slowly. Encrusted in pistachio nuts, and it's served with our famous lemon butter sauce that you're going to taste here in a minute, with our rice pilaf and our fresh vegetables.
Clay, you constantly pushing me has inspired me to continue to work, and the results will be there. Just keep hanging in there, keep working hard.
All right, folks, for today's show, I've made a visual aid I've put it in what I like to call 60-point font. You'll notice here, I've spent a lot of time on this graphic. I can make it green. I can make it teal. Who knows? I can make it orange. But I want you to focus in on this, folks. This is not a magic trick. This is a real thing. You see, in May of last year, a business did $165,000 of sales. And then this May, that same business did $215,000 of sales. Now, folks, see if you can follow along with me here. If you take 165,000 and you divide this and you get in there and you get into that hardcore math that we did as young children, and we say, what growth percentage is that? And you say, no, I should have divided this by that. I'm messing it up. Man, what do? I don't know how to do it. I haven't done this kind of math in a while. And you just sit down and you really contemplate. It appears as though we're talking about a 30% growth rate of this business. You say, what is this business? Well, folks, I went out to do the Reawaken America tour in Visalia, California, and Devin Nunes, President Trump's right-hand man, the guy leading Truth Social at the time, the congressman, he said, Clay, you've got to go to the best restaurant in the history of Visalia, California. I want you to go there for dinner tonight. And I said, what is this restaurant you speak of? And he said, it's a place called Crawdaddy's. And I said, Crawdaddy's? What? Never heard of it before. And I'm not kidding, folks. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not overhyping it. This place is God's gift to food. I walked up to this beautiful place, this palace of pageantry and great food and music. I walk in. First off, the decor is incredible. The music is next level. They've got live music. They've got great decor, incredible food. They've got kind of a formal setting on the second floor, more of an informal kind of a bar, a sports bar kind of energy on the first floor. And here to talk about it is the man, the myth, the legend, the founder of Crawdaddy's, the legend from Visalia, Keith Korsgaden. Welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Great, but I'm not the legend, pal. You are.
I got to tell you, the first time I went to your restaurant, you said, Clay, whatever you want to get, what we're here to serve you guys. You just tell us. And Devin had hyped it up, and I thought, man, I don't want to, I don't want the food to let it down. In my mind, I'd built it up to be so good. And I ordered steak from you. I got steak and lobster. And it was perhaps the best. I mean, not perhaps. It was the best steak and lobster I've ever had. Can you tell the listeners out there, when I ordered a steak and a lobster, how are you preparing that steak and lobster?
About how we're preparing. I have a wonderful kitchen. The steak is grilled, and we bake the lobster, and we serve a 16-ounce lobster. So James was with you that night, and he just devoured that lobster, and then he had some steak or a steak after that. But I got to tell you the funniest story. Can I have a minute?
No, you have multiple minutes.
So we met that night with Devin, right? And you guys had a great time. And you said, oh, man, this is great. And you had General Flynn out for the Reawaken tour. And he goes, oh, this is cool. And I found out you guys are having the great Mike Flynn out there. And I said, oh, I'd sure like to have him here. And, you said, well, I think I could do that. Oh, wow, that'd be amazing. So James and all your guys sent out notifications that you were going to have a meet and greet at Crawdaddy's the next night. And I thought, oh, that's cool. So I went down and told my staff, I said, hey, we're going to have a VIP here tomorrow night, so be ready. And they go, oh, yeah, Keith, we've heard all your promotional stuff and whatever. And I said, no, you better be ready. And the next night, General Flynn came, and it looked like January 6th there. Man, they just stormed the beach. Was that amazing?
I'll tell you how crazy it was. This is a true story. I am up on the second floor where you've got more of the formal setting. The downstairs, it's the bar restaurant. I'm on the second floor, and the person was with me said, hey, I'd like to order a beverage from the bar. And I'm not kidding, folks. From me to the bar, it was maybe like 15 feet. And we couldn't get to the bar. It wasn't possible physically to get to the bar. It was so packed. So I'm not kidding. I took a $20 bill and I passed it to the guy next to me. And he said, I'll get it down the line. And they're passing the order down the line. And this is a true story. So your bartender says, what do you guys want to order? And then it passes down the line. 3 people say, what do you want to order? Pass it down. What do you want to order? Pass it. And so then I tell, hey, Mike, this is the guy I'm getting this beverage for. I said, he would like to get a Moscow Mule. And then 4 people pass it down. Moscow Mule. And then, so they're passing the message, they're passing the order, they're passing the dollars. I have never seen a place more packed in my life. I mean, it was incredible. I don't have any idea how packed.
I've never seen crawdaddies that packed. And I got to tell you one more quick story. So my servers who didn't believe me, this all started happening. I go into the kitchen, and Jose, my server on the second floor, is usually very calm. And he come running down in a panic. He goes, "What in the heck is going on here?" And I said, "I told you, this Clay Clark gets it done with the marketing, man." So Clay, that was the coolest day. All in 20 years, that was probably it was the memory of 20 years here at Crawdaddies.
Now, what I want to do today is why I wanted to have you on the show is I want to encourage our listeners out there. There's somebody watching this show. They've got a restaurant. They're a doctor. They're a dentist. They're a lawyer. And their business, man, they've been trying everything. They've been trying, billboards. They've been trying mailers. They've been trying yellow page ads back in the day, magazine ads. They're doing billboards today. In fact, there's probably someone watching this right now. You're doing billboards right now. You've tried geo-fencing, geo-targeting. But what nothing's better, nothing's sweeter than once you have a simple plan that works. Once you know the plan and you've got that plan in your hand, which is what you and I do together every week. We now have a plan and we're following the plan and it is producing big fruit. So I wanted to ask you just real quick, what's it like to have a restaurant where you're seeing new customers come in every day? Can you describe what that's like as a business owner who's been doing this a long time, when you see new people coming in, new families, and they say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I found you guys online"?
Well, yeah, that's hard. That's obvious, right? I mean, it's so exciting to say, "Oh, hey, I've never seen you in here. Welcome." Yeah, we found you on Google Maps. We found you on the internet, whatever. And look, 20 years of this, I was stubborn. I didn't, I was like, boy, I'm glad I don't have to pay for these yellow page ads. But you convinced me that, hey, Google is now the new yellow pages. And if you want to be in that big yellow page, a lot of young people probably don't even remember this, but what you got a service business, you wanted to be on the top with a big ad. And that's what it is to be rated high on Google. And it is creating great results and a lot of great people too.
Now, we go to Google right now. This was something I found to be an abomination, but because you're a guy who spoke out, in favor of freedom, you spoke out in favor of freedom during the lockdowns. People had really punished, political activists had punished the search results. So when you would go to online, you type in Visalia seafood, what would happen is not only could people not find you in the search results, but the reviews were almost all politically charged. So you would read the reviews objectively, Keith, and you would see that, wow, food's great. Love the food. Love the food. Love the business. These are the comments I'm reading over and over. I'm looking at the comments on Crawdaddies. And then you would see someone leave a 1-star and it's like, "I hate that guy." I hate that. It's like, wow, like, okay, you got 100 positive reviews and then one guy just hates him. And then, you're reading 100 more reviews. Great flavor, wonderful food, great staff. I've been coming here for 20 years. Great. And then an outlier comes in and it's like, "I hate that guy. He's the worst Republican ever." And you're going,
Clay, can I chime in? What I did was I was instrumental in stopping a LGBT friendly, what do you call it, drag show for kids. And so I got the event stopped, and boy, they came out just with guns ablazing, just destroying our reviews. So we had to fight through that. If I had to do it, I'd do it again. But anyway, that's what Clay's talking about, everybody. And, it hurt. But we've done so well that those things have been buried. And I appreciate it. I can't tell you, Clay, how much I appreciate you just constantly being a thorn in my side, telling me, "Get to work, get it done." And we are getting it done.
Well, I want to pull this quote here from Steve Jobs, the guy who obviously built Apple. People don't know this, but I don't think most people think about this in the profound way that I try to think about this. But Steve Jobs, he introduced the iPhone, He introduced the iPad. He introduced, iTunes. Think about this. One guy introduced the iPhone, iTunes, iPad, your personal computer. He also turned around Pixar when it was failing. I can go on and on. But he says simplicity scales, complexity fails. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. Now, when you have a restaurant with many, many employees and great food, I wasn't trying to paint you into a corner about the lobster or the steak, but the reality is, as a business owner, you're not getting into the minutia of exactly what your expert team of chefs does to make this great lobster. You have to make sure that the result is that customers leave wowed. And you have a lot of different moving parts. I want to get your thoughts on that. Why does simplicity scale and complexity fail when you're a business owner trying to execute a plan?
That's interesting that you bring that up. I've always gone by that thing. Keep it simple, stupid, the method. Just continue to crank out what you do best. Don't make it too complicated for your staff. Make sure that they can deliver the best quality product every day. And that goes for out in the kitchen and out front.
Now, again, we're going to get into it real quick here. So for your business, what we have to do is every week, and this is the part that people maybe don't want to hear, but I'm going to give it to you here. Every week as a business consultant or a coach, we got to make sure that we are doing the things that move the needle. And so, Keith, every day, step number one, I'm going to go through the 5 steps we have to do. There's 6 steps. I'm going to get into them rapid fire here, but there's 5 steps that you have to do, 6 of which, the 6th one I'm doing. So step number 1, you got to wow your customers. You just have to do it. I mean, if people Google search Visalia Seafood, they find you now. That's great. That's awesome. Wow. Woo, we're excited about that. However, if they Google search Visalia restaurants, I'm very excited that people are now finding you, and more people are finding you as you climb up higher and higher up the search results. However, if you don't wow that first-time customer, the whole thing was a waste of time. Let's talk about that for a second. At the very basic level, why do you have to wow every single customer?
Well, yeah, okay. How I want to answer this. Okay, your job and my job in marketing is to get them in the door. Then once we get them in the door, even if we do a perfect job, it's not a guarantee that they're going to come back. But, I think we do everything we can to be friendly. And like what you've encouraged us to do is give a free appetizer and say welcome. And so when we get that first person in, we welcome them and give them a free appetizer of their choice, which usually it's our grilled calamari, because that's what we're kind of well known for, and topped with lemon butter sauce, and that's unique and it's impressive.
Step number 2, we have to gather video clips that showcase what you actually do. Because I've been to your restaurant, I love it. I've told my kids, I said, kids, listen, don't make me go on a family vacation just to take you to this restaurant. Don't make me do that, because I will literally plan a family vacation to Visalia just for the purposes of visiting the Taj Mahal of music and incredible food. This place, Crawdaddy's, it's so good. But I'm telling somebody out there, and they might say, Clay, you're overhyping this thing. I said, no, it really is great. But then I took my good friends who run the Flyover Conservatives podcast. I took them and I said, you guys got to go to the restaurant. And Stacy and David, they said, this is perhaps the best restaurant ever. But Keith, if we don't have footage or images of real people having a real good time at your real restaurant, it's almost like it's not real. So we got to get video clips every week. Let's talk about that for a second. Why do we, again, there's a search engine optimization reason why we have to do it, but why do we have to just every week focus on getting those video clips?
Before I say that, I've got some great video clips of Stacy dancing away to the band, and that I love Stacy and David. I haven't heard or seen from them in a while. Hope they're doing well. But it's constantly getting info out there, putting clips on there so you stay ranking. So Google is recognizing that you're still out there, right?
That's what we do, folks. Now, step 3, someone's taking notes. Step 1, wow the customer. Step 2, gather video clips. Step number 3, you got to gather images. A little different than videos, These are just photos, photos of people at the restaurant having a good time, photos of the food. By the way, the gallery section of the Crawdaddy's website Everyone should go there right now. The gallery section, you should check it out. They're constantly adding to the gallery, and on the gallery, you can see photos of the food, photos of the decor, photos of the atmosphere. Why, again, do we have to do it every week? Because I think some people might hear this and they say, I'm going to get excited about this idea for a week and then move on to a new idea. We're seeing fruit. We know we're seeing fruit, but why do we have to do it every week?
Because there's constant. First of all, it's showing up. I mean, we're also on all the other social medias, but then it goes on the website, and there's hey, I don't care if I put a video out there and I gain one customer every time I put one out. If I put 365 out there, that's 365 customers, and hopefully a lot of them are going to say, man, this is my go-to place. And it's starting to show fruits. We're getting a lot of people that are becoming regulars here.
Step number 4, folks. Step number 4, we got to write search engine content. We do that for Keith and his team. However, if you're watching this show, very few, but some of our clients want to write their own content. I want to get your thoughts on that, Keith. Keith, is there a reason why you don't want to write an average of 5,000 words a week of content related to Visalia restaurants?
Well, mainly, I guess, it's because I'm a product of the California school district, and
I don't know any of my clients. Seriously, none of my clients want to write the content, so we do it for almost all of our clients.
No, I don't want to do that. I got too many other things to do.
Yeah, but again, you have
you guys are doing a great job on that too. So thank you.
Make your rank, folks. Okay. So again, what are the steps? Step number 1, wow the customer. Step number 2, gather video clips. Step number 3, gather images. Step number 4, we got to write that search engine content. And step number 5, this is a big one. Every single week, my team updates the websites for all my clients. And this is what? Yeah. I mean, think about it, folks. The new iPhone just came out, right? The new Samsung just came out. Oh, did you get the new iPad? Oh, wow. Hey, look, we got to update the site. And you say, why do you have to update the site? Keith, we have to update the site. I mean, the technology keeps changing. And by the way, people are using Grok and ChatGPT. It never ends. So we have to constantly update that. I want to get your thoughts. As a business owner, what does that do for your peace of mind, knowing that you have our team, myself and our team behind the scenes, updating your site every day so you don't have to?
Well, I don't know how to say this. I don't judge people by their intentions because everybody's got great intentions, but Clay, your team gets results, and that's all that matters. It's obvious when you look in Google reviews. You remember when we first started and we'd Google Crawdaddy seafood, and we were nowhere to be found.
Right.
We're constantly number 1 or number 2, and Crawdaddy. You Google steaks Visalia, we're moving way up the line. All these things, and it's people are out there. They come into town. They want to eat seafood, so they say they're in Tulsa. They say seafood Tulsa. Those people want to be up to get these new faces.
Now, folks, final step we want to do is we got to get more Google reviews. We can't ever be done, and this is something I battle. I battle it. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not complicated. But it's not easy. You say, what's not easy? Well, every week, Keith, one of my clients, he's out there in Joplin, Missouri, and this guy's doing battle with huge companies. His company's called Co-Law Fitness, and he's out there doing battle with literally billion-dollar gyms. And every week he has to wow the customers, and he has to gather objective Google reviews. There he is, Charles Co-Law Fitness. My haircut place, Elephant in the Room, Men's Grooming Lounge. We've got to get Google reviews. And it's not like we're ever done. We got to get Google reviews. We got to spell elephant in the room right when I do the search results. But we got to get those Google reviews. And we're never done, Keith. I mean, it's never done. And you just got to obsessively get those reviews. Because if you don't do it, by default, you're only going to get a bad review coming in from your competition. You're going to get a bad review from the guy who applied for the job that we decided not to hire. You're going to get a bad review from someone who politically doesn't agree with you. Can you talk about just the daily battle of making sure that you and your wonderful team, after you do all that great work, that you actually gather objective Google reviews?
Well, we're just, Steve, my manager, and I are constantly pounding everybody. Hey, tell your people, it would mean a lot to me if you'd give us a Google review. And since there's a few people listening here, it'd mean a lot to me, all you listeners out there, if you'd give Crawdaddy's Visalia a Google review.
Amen to that. Now, folks, let me show you how to do it real quick here. What you'd want to do is you want to Google search Crawdaddies. Okay, so Crawdaddies, all right? And then just type in the word Visalia. That's the best way to get there. Type in Crawdaddies and Visalia. What you say, what's the best way to get there? Google search Crawdaddies and Visalia. And then you can go here and you'll look here for the reviews. You look for them. And then you want to look for the reviews, and there you can write a review right there. So we're gonna write a review. Okay, so I'm leaving a review. I'm doing it right now. Okay, what am I doing? Get 5-star food, service, atmosphere. You could leave a review about the atmosphere. You could leave a review about the decor, the experience, what you've heard about. I'll put when you go to Crawdaddies, okay, Crawdaddies, you are going to experience more than just flavorful food. The live music, the attentive staff, and the incredible decor is truly the best restaurant that I have been to on the West Coast in this beautiful country known as America. That's real. That's a real statement. I'm posting that. Boom. I posted. Now, you got to do that, folks. You got to do it, okay? Because it's not about knowing. It's about doing. Acta non verba. It's acta non verba. So what does that mean? In Latin, it means action, not words. Deeds, not words, okay? The book of James in the Bible, it says, don't be a hearer, be a doer. I'm just asking you right now, take action, leave Keith a review. Other thing you can do, folks, if you go to crawdaddiesvisalia.com and you just visit the website and you click around, just you going to the website right now will make his website rank higher. So if you're out there today and you're curious, go to crawdaddiesvisalia.com, go to the website, check it out. Please feel free to share on social media. Keith, I'm going to give you the final word there, because there's somebody out there who's in a challenging market like California, a challenging market like Chicago, a challenging market like New York, a challenging market like everywhere in America right now. And there that you could feel discouraged, or you could say, you know what? I'm going to focus on what I can control. And despite a challenging economy, I'm going to put in the work and implement a proven plan and grow this business. What do you say to the entrepreneur out there that feels a little bit down and out right now as they're facing a little bit more of a challenging economy?
Well, I've sure been there. And I got to tell you, Clay, you constantly pushing me has inspired me to continue to work, and the results will be there. Just keep hanging in there, keep working hard. And if I can have my Mike Lindell closing statement where I can pitch my product, we just started a YouTube channel, and we live stream all our bands 4 nights a week. So go to YouTube, Crawdaddies Visalia channel, and please subscribe to our channel. And you know, if you want to look in and see what the restaurant looks like on the first floor, you can get a good look at it. I don't have it going on the second floor, but I'd love to have your viewers check us out. Okay, we got music 5 nights a week, Wednesday through Sunday, and I'd love to have you come watch what's going on here at Crawdaddies.
Keith, thank you so much. You're a gentleman. You're a scholar. You're God's gift to California. Thank you so much, sir. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Clay. I appreciate you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
I couldn't wait a full minute before trying that halibut.
It is good, isn't it? Thank you, brother.
Well, first of all, the spice is so good. More sauce than we needed, but that's okay.
Pasta jambalaya is our #1 pasta.
Andouille sausage, chicken breast and shrimp, bell pepper and onion.
We're gonna be finish this with some wine. Penne pasta for the lambalaya.
Chef Fernando sprinkles a special Cajun seasoning on some dishes.
This is blackened chicken used with Fernando's own Crawdaddies blackened seasoning. We just put this on the market now.
The spice is nice and low in salt.
You shouldn't leave here hungry, Dale.
And I won't.
This is one of our top dishes. This is a grilled calamari. Right? And most people are used to eating fried calamari. This is a pounded out steak. That's a lemon butter sauce. You can't get that too many places.
That's very nice.
Yeah, and people come from all over to try that.
That kitchen is always popping with action.
The Acadian shrimp pasta, which is in a reduced white wine and butter sauce.
The second floor is available for gatherings. Crawdaddy's opened back in 2006.
My brother and I, Troy, came to me and said, let's build this building and let's build a restaurant. And I thought, oh yeah, that can't be any work. Let's do that.
Keith has sold the place, but the new owner had a request.
If I want you to keep being the face of Crawdaddy's, I'm more than happy to oblige, because I love being here.
I mean, he loves it so much. Keith had an apartment built on the 3rd floor, so he never has to go far if he needs to get some rest.
Right home and work.
Yes, indeed.
The portions are amazing. It's like a plate fit for a family.
We loved everything there.
Yes.
Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
Oh, he is. He is.
He has just a wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, and just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is, you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way, I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodward Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons. I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life, so he was my coach.
I always wish that I had this, and because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.